Welcome back to Weird Stuff in a Can. Today's Weird Stuff in a Can is Marmite Ale. Now, if you don't know what Marmite is, it's a savoury, salty yeast extract substance that's quite popular in Britain. They've got this whole mythos they've cultivated about how you either love it or hate it. And it's true, very few people feel ambivalent about Marmite, probably. I need to acknowledge my biases here. I really like Marmite. However, I don't really generally like things that have been pre-blended and homogenised for me. So whilst Marmite and peanut butter is a nice combination, I would rather mix them myself on the toast than have a jar of mixed Marmite and peanut butter, which is a product you can buy now. Anyway, so this Marmite beer, let's read what it says on the label. There's beer yeast in Marmite and there's Marmite in this beer. Brewed with pearl hops, same as our classic Hell's Lager, we added real Marmite along with toasted Pilsner and Munich malt for a smoky, bready balance. So whether you love it or hate it, it works just as well as Marmite on toast. We'll toast to that. Now, I've had to buy 4 cans of this because I could only buy a box of it and not just 1 can. I'm not convinced I'm going to enjoy this, but anyway, I've got one of these in the fridge chilling downstairs, which we'll open in a moment. So Camden Town Brewery is quite a well-respected brewery, I understand. I find a lot of their beers a bit too lively and hoppy and light for me. I'm more of a kind of malts and dark ales kind of guy, but sometimes I like a change. Probably their most popular product is Hell's Lager. I have tried it. I'm not really a lager drinker, but it was a good enough example of what it was, and I found it enjoyable. So I'm going to go and get the one that's chilled down now, and we'll open it up and have a taste. Well, I think we just move the camera down here so you can actually see this being opened. So this is the chilled one from the fridge, and let's just open it up. A little bit lively there. And carefully give it a pour. Quite a lively foamy head there. I am trying to pour it as careful as I can down the side of the glass. So you might just have to wait for that to subside a little bit. But we've got a kind of reddish, very nice and clear ale there. So yeah, very foamy head. Don't know if that's anything to do with the Marmite or if that's just a feature of this particular brew. Now, it is true what they say on the can, that Marmite is made from the residue from beer. So when they brew beer, there's a sludge, the lees at the bottom, which is all the yeast that's all gone dormant and settled down to the bottom of the brew. That's tapped off and sold to the manufacturers of Marmite. Marmite is made with hydrolyzed yeast from breweries. So really what they've done here, they've kind of put something back into the beer that you would normally take out, except it's also been highly processed. It's been hydrolyzed and seasoned and so on. So it is an unusual idea, quite apart from the fact that it's just an unusual mixture. So anyway, I think that's probably enough talking. Let's have a sniff. Well, it smells very bready. And yeah, it does smell very yeasty. It smells like, if you've ever done home brewing, that yeast sediment you get at the bottom has a particular yeasty smell. And that is definitely present in this beer. Okay, time for a taste. Interesting, I wouldn't guess that that's got Marmite in it. It doesn't taste like beer with Marmite in it. It tastes like a rather unusual beer. There's something strange in there, and I think it is the salt in the Marmite. Yeah, there's almost like a seaweedy taste in there. I think that's probably a combination of the Marmite flavours and the salt. Salt is not a thing that you would normally expect to find in beer. So yeah, that was quite surprising really, because I wasn't sure what to expect. I thought this was going to be beer that tasted of Marmite. It's not. It's beer that tastes of something else. So there is some kind of slightly seaweedy marine aroma to this. I don't know if that's just the saltiness of the Marmite, the kind of glutamates maybe in the Marmite. I don't know how to describe it. It's got a little bit of a seaweedy smell to it. Kind of slightly reminds me of the aquarium shop. But what an interesting idea. I really expected to dislike that a lot more than I actually do. Some of you might find this a disgusting sound, but you can get the Marmite flavour if you kind of slurp and smack your lips a little bit. So if you taste this, like you've seen people taste wine and whatever, professional tasters. Yeah, now I can perceive a Marmite aroma in there. But just drinking that on its own, it's just like a really weird bready, yeasty, malty sort of flavour. Well, that was a surprise, and I enjoyed that definitely more than I expected to. It definitely is weird, and I'm looking forward to tasting this again so that I can kind of, now the surprise is gone, to actually give this a proper taste and sit down and drink it in a context where I would normally drink a beer. Overall, my impression of this is not horrible, and it's very interesting. Now, as to whether I love or hate it, yeah, sorry to break the convention, I am somewhere on the fence with this. So that was Camden Town Marmite Ale. Weird stuff in a can on atomic shrimp. I hope that was interesting. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.